Adam Lerner, and welcome to this week's Friday Flickr photo critique. This week we're looking at a Flickr set done by Flavio Flavikin. Flavio, please forgive me for butchering the pronunciation of your name. Anyway, this photo set really struck me. I like that there's a lot of street photography in here, and just that the photographer really put some time into thinking about what he was doing and where he was situated. Let's get right into this first image here. So we've got this black and white that's got some toning to it, which is something that I very much like to do. It looks to be a long exposure, and or it's an exposure that was shot at a slow shutter speed. The cool thing about this is that you've got the movement from the cab, but we've kind of frozen the movement of this pedestrian over here. I don't mind that the lights are a little blown out because we still have the texture details in front here. And what really works for this image for me are the leading lines that we have here. We have the leading lines from these row of buildings here, the leading lines from the trolley tracks and the trolley lines over here. And you know what's also really so cool about this is the front of this car that's just poking out of the frame here on the right. It's a little bit odd, but the framing of this, the way it's done, makes it really cool. Probably a bar or a club or something like that. Really like that. Let's move on. Okay, so next image, we have what appears to be like a Chucky doll head on maybe a little fishing vessel shot by the beach. And what I really like about this is the selective focus. And the exposure is really nice too. We've got plenty of detail back here. We've got plenty of detail in context over here. You can tell that this was shot on a dock because we've got these big bags full of line. We've got what appear to be lobster traps. But what's in focus here, the subject is really cool. It's a little bit head-on, and there's no pun intended, even though that could be a perfect pun right there. But I like it. I think it's well done. So let us move on. Okay, so we have got Saturday night, and I'm just gonna guess that he was maybe walking around and hanging out. I don't know, maybe there was a street fair, street festival, some kind of an outdoor gathering of sorts. This could just be the street. Who knows what this might be? The really cool thing about this is that we've got a long exposure, so we've got this person over here that's blurred. And we've got some stars in the sky. So it's kind of cool. It's a little bit grainy, but you know what? I don't mind that. Very cool. Let's move on. Okay, another very cool street shot. We've got this musician, maybe a flamenco guitarist, who's just sitting there in what could be, a subway station or something like that. You've got a really great leading line from the wall to the right. You've got this couple walking up toward the stairs in the background, which really adds context. The exposure is really cool. The fact that you've got a good majority of this guy's face that's exposed, and you can see his foot's kind of up, maybe tapping. I really like it. I like the black and white treatment on this very much. I think this is probably one of my favorites from the set. Real nice. Okay, we've got a couple pillars in the water, a really kind of dramatic sky. We've got some intense light coming from the left of the frame. It's cool. I don't really know what the context of this image is, but it's cool. It's a really thick, contrasty black and white. I would have liked to have seen like maybe a boat here or something to add a little bit more to this image, but overall, it's all right. Okay, we've got a portrait here, and this one's called Purity, and maybe this is maybe something about what he sees in his model over here. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's a little bit tightly cropped. Maybe that was just the way it was shot. I'm not quite sure what's going on in the background over here. I don't know if that was just overexposed, but I find some of this detail to be a little bit distracting. And I would have liked, like, her expression seems a little bit painful, her arm kind of wrapped around her head. I don't know, I would have liked to have seen maybe a couple of different ways of shooting this, a couple of different angles. But, very nice black and white, and let's move on. Okay, so an under the bridge shot, and we've got the, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the monument here. But anyway, very iconic, and the exposure's, done really well for this bridge. And it's an iconic shot. I guess most people would be taking a picture of just this. So to have this kind of being framed, you know, in, or I'm sorry, to lend context to this frame is really cool. So it's just a really nice kind of landscape architectural shot, and I think it works really well. I like how it's all soft focus back here, maybe a little bit of fog, whatever. Very cool. Okay, now this shot really works well. This, you know, has a real kind of sense of romance to it. You've got this couple, they're embracing, they're just about to kiss. You've got that really beautiful, you know, afternoon glow. And the thing that really is extra special is that he took the time to go and see them in this puddle right here. And that kind of shot is fantastic. I know that a lot of wedding photographers often like to do shots like this, you know, for engagement shoots. And or for wedding shoots. Maybe this is an engagement shoot. Maybe it was something that was staged. For whatever it is, I think it was really, really well seen. What I'm not crazy about is I think it's a little bit heavy on the contrast and saturation. But, you know, it's cool. And everybody has their own editing style. And I think that you know, in this case, he did a really nice job, you know, capturing this image and capturing the moment between these two. All right. We'll move on. Okay, so we have you know, a couple of motorcyclists you know, in the busy streets wherever they are, and you know, the cool thing about this is that, you know, he obviously was tracking on these two, and you know, was able to capture them. You get to see, you know, this person's face in the helmet, and you kind of get to see that somebody's kind of looking over here as well. It's a little bit kind of chaotic looking, and I think that that's probably cool. But, you know, as far as street shots go, it's interesting, you know, and it works. All right, this is a beautiful landscape, and what really makes it is the one solo person that's just walking along through the bottom of the frame here. It's very dramatic, very iconic, and maybe a little bit overexposed back here, but they were probably shooting into the sun because you can see some light flare, some sun flare over here. But you know what? I find this to be really, really compelling. I like the sparsity of it. I like the monochromatic look about it. I like the fact that there's just that one solo form silhouetted that's walking in the frame. Really well seen and nicely done. And that is our set here. So, you know, I was kind of looking forward to more, which I guess is a good thing. So, anyway, thank you, Flavio, for sending in this photo set. If any of you guys would like to send in a photo set for a Friday Flickr photo review, please create a photo set in Flickr with no more than 10 images. Select your very best 10 images and email them to adamlernerphoto@gmail.com. That's it for now, and we'll see you soon.